We are back, and now we are talking about prep workflows, right? So look, you got a booking, right? Somebody just hit you up. It's Wednesday. They say, "Hey, I need you to come and DJ on Friday," right? It's Wednesday. The event is Friday. That means that's like what 48 hours, close to 72 hours, depending on what time they hit you up on Wednesday, right? So boom, somebody hit you up on a Wednesday and say, "This is what they need you to do. They need you to do this event." Here is your prep. This is what you should do. This is what you should do right now. First of all, figure out what type of event it is that they're booking you for. Is it a club? Is it a wedding? Is it a meet and greet? Is it a sporting event? What type of event it is, because that's going to help you figure out what your prep skills should be and what you should be doing in that prep, right? So let's just say hypothetically someone hits you up and say, "Oh, I need you to come and do this, I don't know, job party, a work party or something like that," right? So they say, "Okay, I need you to play at this work party." You say, "Okay, cool." So the first thing that you should do is, maybe get a little bit more insight as to what the job is that they're actually doing a work party for. Like, is it a warehouse that they're doing it for? Is it a group of DJs? Are they social media influencers? What is the actual job or the titles of the jobs that you're actually going to be going to DJ for? So you can kind of understand maybe what type of music you should try to play. So I would say anytime somebody's asking you to come to like a corporate type of event, right? They say, "Oh, I need you to DJ for this job," or something like that. Bam, we having a what is that, employee Christmas party or something like that, or employee of the year or something. I don't know, whatever it is. First of all, your first mindset set should be, let me make sure I have enough clean music. Why? Because even though we are adults, just because we are adults does not mean that you ultimately want to go somewhere and hear a bunch of music that's cussing, right? Some people, maybe that's a yes. For some people, maybe that's a no. But also, when you're doing like a job type of thing, like a corporate type of event, you kind of don't want to make anybody feel no type of way. So you want to make sure that you have like some clean music. And if you do have dirty songs, I know Bruno Mars, he gets away with a whole lot of cussing in his songs, but it's just because the way he does it. You feel what I'm saying? Like some rap songs, they come real hard, but Bruno Mars, he come real smooth. He come real correct and all of that. So you be like, okay, it's Bruno Mars. Like, I'm not worried about that. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure that you have your music organized. If, like I said, if they have a social media or something, maybe you can look on there and see what type of people that they actually have, so you can kind of curate a small playlist. Because if you can start to curate a small playlist, it makes it easier for when you get there. Because if you already made other playlists, such as playlists for corporate events, bars, hip hop parties, R&B, pop, festivals, anything like that, if you've already made those other playlists, it's easier for you to kind of weave in and out of playlists, right? Because you can say, okay, I'm gonna start off here, I'm gonna see what these kind of people like, and then maybe I start to veer over here because I see they like this a little bit more. Maybe I move over here because I see that they like this a little bit more. So that all goes back to making sure that you have your playlist organized, or you have your music organized, so that you're not going in there like a chicken with their head cut off, because that tends to happen to a lot of people, right? Like, they tend to get a booking on Wednesday, and then they know the event is on Friday, and Thursday they over there cramming it. They trying to get all the music. They trying to sync them up. They trying to queue them up. They trying to analyze. They trying to update the laptop, update the software. They trying to do all of these things in that small amount of time. You feel me? At one point in time, you're gonna miss something, or you might miss a song. You might miss something very vital because you're trying to rush. So that's why I say give yourself like a 48-hour kind of like prep window, right? So yeah, you get your songs together. If you need to get new songs, you download those songs. Again, if you get your songs from like DJ pools, they already come queued up. They already come with the first part of the song queued, the first lyric of the song that's usually at the 8 beat. Usually, if you have your Serato is set up correctly, you should see the numbers for every beat that happens. And then by the time you get to the 8th beat, you know that ninth one, the words are actually going to start. So they also have that already queued up for you. Some of them, they even have like the best part of the songs queued up for you. So if you get your songs from like a DJ pool, you kind of like pretty much set up, because they kind of give you the training wheels, versus if you get your songs from like YouTube or SoundCloud, you kind of got to like preset them up and all of that other stuff, right? So you make sure you do that, right? Um, make sure that you are, like I said, you make sure that you organize all your music. Practice a set before you get there, right? So like practicing a set, just say, okay, this is how I would open up when I get there. You know, how are you going to talk on a mic? How are you, if you are a mic talker? Some people may not be a mic talker. Me, I'm a mic talker. So when I get somewhere, I'm going to talk on the mic first to kind of get you warmed up so you can kind of understand who I am, where I'm coming from, and then I can kind of take you along on my journey of storytelling with my actual music, right? So I would say practice at home. Get your first 15 minutes down pat. Get your first 20 minutes down pat. Say, this is where I'm going to go for the first 10, 20 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to just start weaving in and out of my music based on the type of crowd that I see. If I see that there's people that like pop songs, maybe I'll drop some of them. If I see there's some people that like R&B, maybe I'll drop some of them. If I need to drop some apple bottom jeans boots with the fur, I could, you feel me? I could read the crowd to understand what I need to play. So make sure you have like some sort of like prep list, right? Also, have an option to where if you play a song and you see that the crowd is vibing to it, maybe your next couple of songs you try to stay in that bag versus jumping around. Because you could read a lot if you play the same type of songs in that small little set. So let's say you play like Party Rockers in the House Tonight, right? You drop Party Rockers in the House Tonight. You can drop shots. You can drop Tonight, I Want All of You Tonight. You feel me? You could probably drop a Pitbull song, right? And then after you go from a Pitbull song, then you can probably, after that Pitbull song, you could probably drop in, I'm just going off my head. I don't even know if these BPMs match together right now in my head. But after you hit that song, you could probably hit Lil Jon Ludacris, yeah, right? Which means that you just play pop songs and now you're going to like a pop song, but it's kind of hip hopish too. And then maybe after you play, yeah, maybe you play like another song by Usher or another song by Lil Jon or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be the same artist, but maybe it's giving the same feel so that they understand the story that you're trying to tell or they understand where you're trying to go with the music. You feel what I'm saying? So if you got like your next 2, maybe 3 songs prepared for you, then that works for you, right? Because you ain't got to like think about it. You ain't got to go like super deep into it and be, oh, what should I play after that? That's what happens with a lot of DJs. And then what ends up happening is you end up playing the song all the way into the very end. And then everybody's looking at you like, dang, they played this song all the way to the end. I only liked it the first verse and the hook. Why they play the whole song? They didn't want to hear all that, man. That's not what they came there for, right? They came there for the best parts of the song. And if you don't got the best parts of the song, sometimes they tend to call you trash, right? So, yeah. So make sure you do that, okay? This is for my women DJs, right? I know it's a lot of us, you know, we coming out, we strong, we doing our stuff right now, right? So for women DJs, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If I was you, I still do this to this very day. I'm not going to lie. I've been DJing for 14 years now. I do this to this very, very day. Every booking that I go to, I make sure that I keep my controller. I make sure I keep my laptop stand. I keep my microphones. Anytime I go to a booking, I make sure I keep those things in my car. Make sure you keep them. The reason why is because sometimes you go to these venues and they have, let's say, like these older controllers that you may not know how to work. The promoter or the club booked you to come there for you to give them a show based on what they've seen, maybe on your social media, maybe what they've seen at other places or something like that. So if you get there and you don't really understand how to fully use what they have there, you can always go to your car, grab the controller that you're familiar with, and come in and plug it into whatever mix board or whatever mixer it is that they have. I'm guaranteed their mixer has a RCA on the back, or I'm guaranteed it has an XLR to where you can plug in your controller to their mixer and just use one channel, right? So the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes we go places as women and they look at us and they underestimate us and they go, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's doing, so I'm going to just let her use this. Or, oh, I seen her on her Instagram page or her TikTok page and this is what she used. But when she get here, I'm going to make her use this. Now, I'm also a very firm believer of whatever you can get your hands on, try to practice on it, because some places you may go and they may not let you plug in a controller. They may say, this is what we have, so this is what you have to use, right? So you kind of want to be versatile. But on the other end of that, I always say, make sure you have your backup. It does not matter what it is. Make sure you just have that as a woman DJ, because I'm not going to lie, I've said it to you before. Some of these DJs, some of these guys, they will try to sabotage you just because you are a woman DJ. They feel like you coming in and you taking their job. And that's not what you're doing, right? We all are in the field of DJing to see people smile, to make people move, to give people good energies, to music, storytell, or however it is that we choose to convey that over, right? That's what we're here to do. Pretty much that's what we're here to do. But we do tend to go some places and they look at us and they look down on us. Why? Because a female can't do this, or you shouldn't be doing that, and and they get this whole little idea in their head. And next thing you know, you up there and you trying to plug in cords and the cords ain't working, or your laptop is not working, or it's not set on the right the right settings or anything like that. So again, I just want to, if you can, if I would suggest, if they have equipment already at a space, ask them, hey, what type of equipment do you already have there? Why? So that within your 48 hours, maybe you already have your playlist organized. Maybe you got everything queued up already, right? So for you, you may just be like, I just need to know what kind of controller they got or what they got over there, so I can either learn how to use what they have, or I can try to figure out what I need to do to set my own stuff up as well, right? So everybody 48 hours before the booking is very, very different, right? You may be the person that needs to get a couple more new songs. You may need to, organize your music a little bit differently, because maybe this event that you're going to maybe not need those extra songs or whatever. Maybe you don't need to queue up songs. Maybe your only thing is, I practice every day, I just need to know what kind of controller y'all got. You feel me? Or I practice all the time, I just need to know what kind of mixer you got so I can get there and do my job. So everybody 48 hours ultimately looks very, very different, right? That's just the way it is. It just looks very different for everybody. But I would say, anytime you get a booking, if you could do it before the 48 hours, kudos to you. But if you can't, at least carve out yourself 48 hours. At least carve yourself out 48 hours, just so that you understand what it is that you're doing. And then you can go there and you can give whatever it is that you have, right? You don't want to go somewhere and then give them like half-ass work. Like, you don't want to do that, because that ain't what they called you for. They ain't called you for half work. They called you for the full thing, right? So you make sure you do that. Let me see. Whew. All right. This might ruffle a little feathers, right? It might ruffle a little feathers, but as Coach West, I'm okay with ruffling some feathers. I'm not even gonna hold you. I done ruffled a couple feathers already with some of my videos, so I'm not too new to ruffling feathers over here. You feel me? I'm okay with it. But if you were DJing and you are like using, let's say, Spotify or Tidal, or you're using any of those platforms that allow you to stream the music via Wi-Fi to DJ. I don't even know if I said that correctly. That sounds so strange. That sound like so out of bar right now. Like, if you're using Wi-Fi to stream the music on your laptop to DJ from Serato, hey, kudos to you, but I'm going to let you know something right now. Not every space you go to going to have Wi-Fi. Not every space you go to is going to have efficient Wi-Fi. So I'm just letting you know, not every place is going to have Wi-Fi. And unless you walking around with a personal hotspot in your pocket, or like you got that T-Mobile box that you could just like plug in somewhere, I don't really know what to tell you. So yeah, that's just my other thing. That's a very, very brave move to anybody who is in that scene or who's in that era, who likes to use, like, the streaming of the music. That's crazy. Kudos to you. But I would suggest that you might want to start looking into actually downloading your songs so that you own them. So even if a place doesn't have Wi-Fi, you can continue to rock the crowd. You ain't got to worry about, I ain't got no Wi-Fi. Like, that's just not what you want to do, right? So those are just some little things that I would like to put out there. You feel me? As a prep. This is just a prep. This is just 48 hours before you go to DJ. These are just some of the things that you should do as a DJ, right? Just some things you should do. And as a professional DJ, you probably already have these things down packed as to how you're going to get these things done anyway. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. There's just a little workflow, just like that.